I started my business, I pivoted away from like corporate America to do my business because I wanted to create a legacy and doing things that I felt were like awesome for the world and like for my kids or whatever. But then it's also like, well, we have some bigger stuff we need to do too. It's not just about a personal legacy in my story, but it's just like, well, how do you do capitalism in a responsible way, and like how do you funnel means back to where it needs to go? And again, I've come from Sweden, like social democrat there, so we're just like, here, take all the money. It's like a very different way
Yeah.
to think
Yeah.
about it.
But I also think it's so cool to look at the bigger picture of that, right? Like your career trajectory and how, leaving corporate America and then creating Saged. And then like, that's also like, yeah, there's legacy there. And also that can fuel these other bigger projects and things to like actually save the planet, and it all, I really believe that with business and career, like what is your why? And when there's a bigger mission, a bigger why, the universe is going to send you the resources to fuel that so that you can then fuel other things. And I think right now on the planet, it's really all about redistribution of wealth. And if you're an open portal and you're ready and you know where to direct the money, like money will come to you, and then we can use that responsibly. So I think it's a really important thing for people to realize right now is like, hey, if you got, if you had a ton of clients, customers, whatever it is, a lot of money, like where are you going to put that to support the planet? Because when you're clear on that, resources will come your way. I really believe that.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly it, like so that's another thing I love to discuss is also like, what is capitalism going to look like going forward? And like, what is good stewardship? What is the divine feminine corporate structure is what I like to call it. And it's like, what does it look like? How do we do that? How do we not get so tied up in like, oh, I can afford a yacht now. Great. Like, do
Yeah.
you need the yacht, or do you need to like maybe buy some more things in the Amazon, or like support these people or whatever it is? Like, so just like, what do we actually need? Like, what do we actually need to be feeling fulfilled and content? Like, how do we get out of this race of always wanting more? And of course, people want nice things and they should have nice things, but it's also, come on, Elon, like, why do you want to send up a rocket? How about saving the Amazon? Like, which one should it be? Hey, Jeff Bezos, you took their name. Are you doing anything for them? No. Okay. So it's just like, how do we come up with a culture of entrepreneurs and companies that actually give a damn, and actually
Yeah.
do something?
What do you think that looks like? Like how do we create that culture?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like creating by doing. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
hell bent on doing. Is just like, I want to create this entity that is sort of a living organism, that it's like great for everybody who's collaborating and supporting it, and like that is just constantly giving back to the community, to the earth, constantly. That's just how it is. And also, like, maybe there's like a max ceiling of how much you can actually make of it. If you made more than blah dollars, then you're done. Like everything
Yeah.
else that you generate is just going to go back to the earth. Like, you don't need more.
Mm-hmm.
So like really playing with things like that, and like how would that work? And it is interesting because there's so many layers of fear and scarcity and like, oh, and the want, the need for always more. So I love to think about it just as a spiritual exercise of like cleansing yourself of those ideas and constructs about how we need to amass all these things. And and then we die, and like, so, okay, and then we're not going to bring the money with us, they stays here.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I think that's one of the most valuable places to like dive in if someone's on a spiritual awakening journey of like your relationship with money, because there's so much to unpack there. And like I mean, I'll say within like growing up in America, just all of the scarcity, just so locked into it. And I think we're going to really have to heal a lot of those wounds for us to be able to trust ourselves and trust each other to use our resources responsibly
mhm.
and consciously. And like to your point, models, right? And I think there's been a lot that's been pretty hidden. People will know, oh, somebody makes a lot of money, but what do they really do with that? And now I feel a lot of that is coming to light. And that's one of the, good parts about social media and having access to more information is people are seeing, oh, this person's spending money this way. And then how cool is it that now we can have these other examples of, hey, here's another method of how you can use your money a little bit more consciously and supporting the planet. And I think having that like highlighted more publicly will be an eye opener for people as well.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah. I'm excited, right? Because I think there's going to be so much change in
Yeah.
like how people consume, what they consume, and what's driving them to consume what goods. Like, so we're going to be way more conscious and like do I need that H&M top like for
Yeah.
$7? It just came on a ship from Bangladesh, and like, oh, you're helping the global economy, that family, or whatever. Like, really, are we? Is this helping anybody? So I feel like just like flipping that on its head is gonna feel so good if we get out of that. And just looking at like my kids, have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and it's like the 13-year-old and her friends that they think way differently. Like they like makeup, but everything else is like way more conscious and like trying to make better decisions. I'm like, oh, there's hope.